Hello everyone, Krydax here, and welcome back to our Maraxsis playthrough, part of our Space Age playthrough. So there were a couple updates. Not Melon was observing the stream, and he changed a couple things. One of them is that he removed construction continued. So the construction submarine things is just kind of removed, because construction of ghosts anywhere on the map can already be performed anyway with the Spidertron remote on submarines, so I think he just removed that system. Removed quality pips from submarines graphically, wonderful. The trench is now 2x wider, roughly, because we had a skinny trench. Couple bug fixes. Updated the locale to explain that the salt reactor has an internal buffer. Oh. Did not know that. Interesting. So I wonder if that's where all my power was going. Removed annoying ping sound when riding a submarine. Spooky Maraxsis trench noises and bubbly Maraxsis ambient noises. Cool. And then salination recipes now return salt with an 80% chance. I don't know exactly what that does for us, but I meant to update these. Oops. So yeah, we're gonna jump back in and get our hydraulic science going today. We've already got the worm samples, and all we need to do is set up a submarine going back and forth into the trench to fetch those samples and bring new fish food. Maraxsis is not yet working with Factorio version 26, so we're still on version 25 right now. And that's that. Okay, so wait, this has a buffer. Internal buffer. So what does that mean? Does that mean it's still just filling its buffer right now? I wonder. I'm not totally sure how it works still regarding, like, being an accumulator type thing. So, like, does that mean I don't need accumulators at all? Or I do? So let's see, each one, it says it has a buffer of 2.5 gigajoules, which would be 250 normal salt. So if I just take 200 salt, hey, thanks for the follow, Cardo. If I just dump a bunch of salt in here, will it eventually, if it were an accumulator, it wouldn't charge other accumulators. True. Like, is it eventually gonna stop? No, because these spoil. The electricity results spoil. Still not entirely certain how this is working. But we will see. Because 250 salt should be enough to fully fill buffer. But those aren't going to stop spoiling, because that's what they're doing. They're too heavy for a rocket. You can't send electricity up in a rocket. Sad. Oop, here comes the salt delivery. That's so cool. I love that. Okay, it's now gone through 200 and still nothing's happening. So yeah, I don't think it ever throttles itself still. But maybe what that means is that I'm not losing out on potential charging of the... You know how earlier I was saying we needed to have 200 accumulators to soak up all the power? Maybe we don't. Possibly. I'm still not exactly sure how that all works. But look at all this. We got all these worm specimens. So what we need to do is we need another dock. So let me craft a few of those. And then... Wait. Oh, I didn't uninstall the mod. So we'll need another vehicle dock. And then we'll put it maybe over here so it's not gonna mess with the other one. And then... we're gonna need a couple things. So let me move this to over here. And then we're gonna need a filter inserter out for the food and the whatchamacallits, the worm confinement cell. And then we're gonna need another one that just puts everything in. And then we'll do this. Okay. Now I wonder if there's a way... I guess we can just do some locked slots, maybe? Yeah, that's probably what I'll do. Because if we bring a certain amount every time, I guess we'll always get back that exact same amount, because this is 1-to-1. There's no productivity here. It'll just be 1-to-1 of different rarities. Hey, Rayclaw, how's it going? Yes, we did start Maraxsis. And it's been a lot of fun so far. So then, let's see. We already have another sub, I think, right? No, I guess it was a construction sub, so I probably need to craft another one. And then we'll get that placed. And then we'll need to request rocket fuel 80. We're gonna have plenty of fuel that way. And then how to do this. So the food is here. Feels weird. I guess if we have too much uncommon food, we need to actually delete it. So uncommon. Oh, what's the easiest way to do this? Probably recycle all the rarities. I guess I'm just gonna not be picky. If we need a condition. Hey, stop it. If regular food of normal quality is less than 500. And then we'll just... Oh, that's not gonna work, right? We need to feed it into a little chain of recyclers there. I think 4 is enough. Okay, so that should work to get rid of too much higher quality food, which I'm not using right now. And then finally, we want to have a dock where we load up the stuff here. And we'll do 2 different requester chests. inserters. Wire those up. And then we'll say if worm confinement cell is less than 100. I don't think you can start on Maraxsis. It is Aquilo level, yes. So, worm confinement cell and the fish food. Fish are food, not friends. So when you type fish, it doesn't show up as... Oh, it does. I just can't see. It's fine. Okay. Because those stack to 100, but these only stack to 10. And then the result stacks to 10. Okay. So if I'm taking 100 items, the storage... How do I filter these again? There we go. See, this is the problem, is I'm gonna have 100 coming back, but I don't know 100 of what kind. But it shouldn't matter. Maybe I do a little less. No, because 200 items in, 200 items out. 100 items out, and I can hold 300 items. Yeah, we're more than... Oh, okay, we're fine, we're fine. That'll be fine. So that's good, that's good. The stack size is not going to be a problem because of having plenty of extra space. So then this one is the confinement cells. 250, and the fish food. We'll do 200, because why not? Okay, so now we have our other sub. Oh, that's... Which one's me? That one's me. This is the other sub. We will color it blue. That's too blue. More of a soft blue there. Alright, add waypoints. So waypoint 1 is going to be here. And then you're going to go all the way up to here, where I have no measurement. And then we're going to go over to the trench. And you're going to go to there. Oh, why is it not letting me do that? Interesting. I guess maybe I have to do the submerge setting first for number 2. I'll wait for inactivity of 10 seconds. And then from there, maybe I can see it in the trench. No. I wonder if it actually has to submerge one time before I can start putting waypoints on the other planet. Because the trench is another surface, so something's going weird with that. Insert new waypoints after this waypoint. Yeah, it won't let me. Oh, there might be a way to do it. I'm not sure what it would be though. So I'm gonna have it go do its submerge. That does seem a bit weird if there's no way to do it. I guess you're not normally passing Spidertrons between planets, so I get it, but if there's no way to do that, that is kind of annoying. Yeah, I'll have to change it to manual when I submerge it. Should have brought more exoskeletons for these other subs. We can make them go way faster if I want to. Okay. So it does that, and now I should be able to add a waypoint there. And then we just go over to 4 and surface. So that will wait for inactivity as well. And then do that. I mean, that should do it. And then That's already set to loading. I could add... The one downside to this... I guess I can just stop loading worm confinement units or something when I have, Wait, what? Uh-oh. Now we've gone and done it. Here. Just go back to 1. We're fine. Alright, cool. Alright. I guess what I can stop, I can just read, the number of science I have, and when I have enough science, I can stop loading one of these or something. Or maybe, I don't know, I stop making these when I have enough science or something. That's a little too far down the chain, though. Maybe I say... So is my... Oh. Yep. Well, now my inventory has a bunch of these things in them. Get rid of those. Maybe I say... Can you wire these up like they're roboports? Yes. Okay, so maybe I say that is controlling you. And you only enable if worm... No, hydraulic science is less than, I don't know, 5,000, 10,000, whatever. Okay. So, oh, I never set unloading. What am I doing? Dummy. Dummy. One more vehicle dock, please. And then filter on... Where are they? You'd think I could find them. Worm specimens. There they are. There's not a... There is a way to do this inequality here. Okay. I wasn't sure if there was or not. How many times will I accidentally load a bunch of fish food into my sub? Many times, I imagine. Now, the one thing I haven't checked, can you put radars? No. Bummer. So you have to build the domes to be radars. Do I have an extra dome on me? Okay, here's this one. So you, after you come back here, you need to add a waypoint and go here and unload. Empty inventory. Okay. So I guess this sub will stop running then right there. I don't need to... Like when I just have a full... When I have full chestfuls of worm units, then it'll stop. So I guess I don't actually need this condition. After all. I can undo that. Alright. Cool. So then the last thing we need is to actually craft the hydraulic packs. I believe we have everything we need for them. And we're going to be crafting hydraulic packs of all shapes and sizes. I probably should go inside a dome, which means I need more domes. Just because I can use beacons that way. And then I will need atmosphere. Probably should go pick up more atmosphere. Do I have a warning? I should set up a warning for when my atmosphere barrels are running low. Speaker. And I need to set up the ship to be automated so it, you know, has a 0% chance of actually running out of atmospheres, but atmosphere barrel, when you get less than 200, global atmosphere barrel, and it's reading contents. Perfect. Okay. Alright, so that's set up, and then well, I'm not quite at the stage where I want my ship going wherever it wants to go right now. That's the problem. Because I'm still kind of using it as a delivery ship if I want more buildings or materials or whatever. I want it to be available on demand. Alright, there we go. Okay, so we've got all those things. It unloads them all. It loads new stuff. It seems like it's working. And then unfortunately, these are kind of in the way. What if I connect to there, there, and then we have another one here. And then I can remove this and this. Okay, so the hydraulic science packs just require salt and worm specimens. Ah, dang it. Okay, so we are going to need to set up a salt quality system. And then the saline water's kind of a joke. I mean, it's fine. It's not hard to get, but it's so easy to get. It's kind of a joke. Oh, look, you can just middle click anywhere in the world to grab a offshore pump. That's fun. All right, well, that's done. You would need to be making a lot of science as well to not have enough. What's the star map look like? So the star map is just, you know, what it was before with the other planet. It's only 20 megameters away from Vulcanus, whereas most of these are all 15, I think, from each other. It's only 20. So it's not that far, but it's only Vulcanus, so you're 2 steps away from Nauvis. Or, well, I guess it's Fulgora as well. Which somehow I didn't even notice before. Alright, so we're gonna do prod modules. And so the final thing we're gonna have to do is set up salt of various qualities. And then beacon all this. So that should be plenty of science. It's possible I need another speed beacon just for that one. Because that, you know, obviously this will run the most often. Being normal quality. Well, actually, will it? Because the I have 50% quality, which means half of the items are going to be a higher quality than normal. So these two are going to run almost the same amount of time. Anyway. So for salt, let me remind myself of the little chain here. The actual salt is produced in the salt electrolysis. So basically, if I do salt electrolysis in a hydro plant, we should receive okay, Okay, yeah, let's put speed modules in these. By the way, I need more speed modules brought down to the planet. Go get more from Novice. And I can always add more of these to make more brackish water. But I think what I'm going to do is add a separate processing line. Oh, we did have an extra sub already. Oh, that was my construction sub. That's what that was. So we're going to add a separate set of salt production over here. And that should produce salt at the same quality that we're getting the worm specimens. And it needs brackish water. I already have enough water, so I don't think I need more. Trying to remember. Because the brackish, where's the brackish water coming from? Oh, right here. Yeah, the brackish water just needs a single, so for 100 converted, you only need 20 regular water. So I only need 1/5 as much. But if I don't turn any of this hydrogen and oxygen back into water, I'll be spending 60 real water for every one of these recipes. And the question is, are these making enough? I mean, these have plus 152% productivity. So the salt that I'm making here is producing a lot of water. Possible I run out. So maybe we should just overflow. Hydrogen and oxygen as well. And that way we just don't run out. Okay, and then, so we have those connected, and now if those get too full, we will pump out and get rid of it. So then, wire, enable, hydrogen is the white one. Oxygen is always red in mods, which is nice. Grateful to mod makers for being consistent about that. I know, I wish we had overflow valves. I'm excited to get back to Pyanodon so I can play with overflow valves again. It'll be great. And then we need... Oh, I've run out of hydro plants. I think I have a couple uncommon ones, but... And I've run out of tungsten. Oh no. We have more? We do. I guess on this planet you need... Oh, I do have a request for it. I just turned off my quests. Okay, so... make a few more of these real quick. Should be enough. All right. So then we want to void oxygen. And that's 200 a second, so let's make that faster. There we go. And then void oxygen. Did I say the other one was oxygen? That's hydrogen. Alright. That's only enabled if oxygen is greater than 20,000. Okay. So now those are equalized. And that means I'm safe to connect these to the same network without getting too much. And also making sure I don't run out of regular water is the main idea. Okay, so then all we need is to connect the brackish water pipeline, which is up here. And then those are running. And I would indeed like a beacon or 2 or 3. Make those go real fast and make them real productive. And now here's the weird part. We're gonna have to set up some sort of recycling, because it's possible I end up... This is the unfortunate about the... Oh, you know what I'm doing though is I'm changing the quality ratio. Haha, that's funny. So I should probably make these higher quality hydroplates. You're right about that. Because this quality is 40%. So these are coming out at a 40% ratio, and these are 32%. So that means I'm going to end up with slightly too much of the normal quality relative to the others. So I could do that, and now they're basically the same quality. 39.6. So that'll keep it the same ratio. We'll see if that's too slow. We can change it. I don't think that's going to be too slow, though. So the problem now is... it's complex, because these are always making normal salt. These are making all the qualities of salt. Basically, if I have too many of any certain quality, we need to destroy it. But if I have too much... These I only want to run if I have not enough normal salt. Because I'm going to end up with probably way too much normal salt. So let's stop at 8,000. Let's stop these at 8,000 salt. But then this is also wrong because that's loading up the salt generator provider. So we'll separate that to be a separate thing. Okay, so that's set up better, and then we're gonna need some recyclers set up. What's this? Is that me? Ah. That's my own sub. Anyway, so these we're gonna have to request based on if we have too much. Read contents. And then you're gonna enable if salt uncommon. Why does Alt scroll not work in this screen? Oh, it does, but again, it doesn't work right here. That's really obnoxious, actually. It only works if you mouse outside the screen. Which, the same issue occurs when there's a scroll bar in the logistics menu. Okay, so let's say if we have greater than 4,000 of the uncommon salt. And then this will be rare above 2,000. Epic above 1,000. Now, legendary salt is an interesting one because it's like I should just use that for the salt reactor, but it's just, I don't know. This is more consistent. Okay. And we're not going to see legendary salt very often, don't get me wrong. And I'm just going to let those pile up. Maybe not. I mean, what are we talking here? 48 slots, 96 slots times 200 is 20,000. Right? No, 40,000. So this is going to be 40,000 salt overall. So then this should be, if half of that is uncommon, then this should be like greater than hold on. 48 times 4 times 200 is what? That is 38,400 total salt. So half of that is the exact ratio. So we'll go maybe a little higher. So if our ratio is a little too high, we'll say 21,000. Then we'll start recycling uncommon salt. Hey, Phase Lot. How's it going? Welcome, welcome. Welcome, Raiders. And then I will take that number. And I'll cut it in half. I'll cut it in 4, because technically the chances are way less than that. They're like, I should have about 1/10 as many of these. And then I'll cut it in 16. And then I'll cut it in 64. No, I'll keep that 500. What have you guys been up to over there? Been playing Factorio, okay. You just still doing your general space age run, or are you doing something else fancy? Okay, so now we're at the point where we don't have enough brackish water. These are still running, interestingly. Oh, because of this thing requesting a bunch. I could use more brackish water. But do I need more? Probably not. First run for Space Age, second run ever. Oh yeah, nice. Yeah. Man, Factorio's great. I'm so glad you're getting to enjoy it. Red chips are certainly a challenge. They're so slow. Red chips are so slow. Yeah. Raiding and running is the way you do it. I get it. Have fun. Thanks for the raid. Alright, and then I certainly am just going to let the bots deal with it when it comes to these things. Rather than sorting a bunch of belts and whatnot. I am going to pump up the numbers, though. Those are rookie numbers. Alright. This is where I'm also really excited to re-add some mods to my Factorial play, because the additional paste settings one just lets you click multiple times on our Quester chest, and that is so nice. Alright, there we go. We got hydraulic science. Sweet. Oh, and we're gonna get even more high quality science because we get another quality boost from these buildings. So we got lots of high quality hydraulic sci. Okay, and now I need some labs. I guess we're handcrafting some gears. And then we should be able to set that up. I'm gonna do a weird sort of thing, but it will make sense. What I'm gonna do is prioritize the higher quality sciences like this. So that's hydraulic science. Legendary. That's hydraulic science. Epic. That's hydraulic science rare. That's hydraulic science uncommon, and that's hydraulic science common. So that's just a simple way to prioritize, you know, the more rare stuff. I don't know why I'm not using stack inserters. And I also could double down on the... It'll prioritize itself slightly better if we do something like this. Because with just one inserter, you know, it won't fully fill the belt very well, but this will help it be a little better. And it looks kind of neat, so I'll take it. All right, so there's my prioritized belt of sciences. And then we take our labs. Are they done? Sure are. I don't know if 5 is enough for this first research. We can always beacon it. Put room for beacons here. And then all right, they're loaded in. That should let us do Project Sea Dragon, which is what allows us to launch rockets off of Maraxsis. We might need to go a little bit faster than this. Let's try some epic speeds there. Okay, yeah, that's going fast. Sweet. All right. Digging it. So we are overall getting a good rate. It looks like we're getting 2.56, but that requires 0.48 of the worm specimens. I don't know if we're getting that many. This has a 0.96 rate, so as long as this continues to run... Oh, this has an inactivity. You know, this should probably be a time passed measurement there. 30 seconds is plenty to unload what we have and load what we need. It's waiting way too long right there. This one can be inactivity because we're loading up to a certain amount, but this one was waiting until it was entirely full because it was waiting for inactivity. And that inactivity wasn't happening until it was either full or we stopped producing worm specimens. So that was bad. So we just fixed that problem. Anyway, if we look at hydraulic, you know what? Okay. I didn't know that merged option existed until just now. I was about to complain that it didn't. I'm glad it does. So we're getting what? 300 a minute, that's just 5 packs a second, but we're getting a decent amount of higher quality ones, so it's really more than 5 packs a second of effective research. Because if half of them are uncommon, that's already, you know, whatever. 7.5 packs a second, effectively. Okay, so now I guess the question is, do I just want to drop the parts? We do need to make the sealant substance here, of course, but do we want to drop the rocket parts? Probably. Because we have no infrastructure set up here, and there is lava. We can get lava and make molten iron and copper, so we certainly could, you know, do a Vulcanus type situation and set up a whole infrastructure to make rocket parts. But I don't think I will. You think it seems silly to set up labs just to ship the science? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's a kind of a fun step. I don't think it's too different one way or another. It's an easy enough step that I don't think it's like that big of a deal. But you know, as what happens with that same argument is like, well, if it's that small of a step, then why does it exist, right? So I understand that dichotomy, and at some point it's just a matter of it feels different, and that's kind of fun, I guess. We do need more chem plants, which we should have some here. And then okay, so we're gonna need to make a silo first of all, which requires a lot of concrete and probably more steel. And what else? I don't even remember what a silo needs. Let's see, where even is the rocket silo? Oh, it's in space. Right. Steel, electric engine, and concrete. Should have all of the above. And we'll drop some of those things. Electric engine, concrete I just dropped. So that should be good enough to build one. I will handcraft an entire rocket silo, which is hilarious that that's even possible. I need 100 more concrete. Wait, no. Really? Oh, I didn't drop all of it. 100 more concrete and all the steel. And I still need more steel. Oh, okay, good. I just got scared. Like, I thought we had 1,000 steel in here. Okay. Cool. So that should be everything we need. Not enough logistics storage space available for... Oh, barrels. I see. Barrels are getting a little crazy. So what we need is recycler. I mean, we just need this same idea, but for barrels. How about 1,000 barrels? That's enough. Alright. There we go. And then that'll get rid of barrels. Silo needs more steel. There we go. Okay, let's see, what else are we gonna... Let's start working on that sealant substance. That's the main thing we have to do still. So the sealant substance, if I can find it, it's gonna be in intermediates. There it is. Sulfur, heavy oil, and steam. Wait, what? Am I understanding this correctly? We have to craft this in space? I just saw that for the first... I thought we were going to have to craft this on the planet, and we were going to have to figure out how to get sulfur, heavy oil, and steam here on Maraxsis. But it says crafting surface conditions, gravity 0, and crafted on, and that's the space platform hub. Interesting. So we have to make this in space, not on the planet. I might like that less, actually. I don't know. Kind of interesting. I don't know if I like that or not like that. Because I thought we were going to need to use this fish to carbon thing, and then, you know, work on turning basically fish into oil, and use the geothermal sulfur to get the sulfur. I thought we were going to have to do all that. But we don't have to do any of that. We just need to make oil in space, which is tricky, but... Huh. Okay. That's not at all what I expected. Well... I guess we'll use the same platform. At this point, I probably should have made another one. But I wanted to get started on Maraxsis a little sooner, so I didn't want to make a whole nother space platform, because that takes like an hour. Alright, let's make it on this side. Alright. So, how are we gonna actually make this? Get rid of you. Place those. Oh, am I out of... that's not a hole, is it? Oh, no, now it'll keep it. Yeah, okay. So, let's see here. We need oil. I already have coal. So I'm just gonna need to do coal liquefaction, I guess. We already have sulfur and coal. So I will need a refinery up here. Technically, I think we're fine. Because we've got missile defense all the way to here, and that one, yeah. We'll be fine. Alright, so, coal. Yeah, I mean, coal liquefaction's the only way to do it. So we're gonna have to import some heavy barrels. Alright, well, let's head over to Nauvis real quick, because we're gonna need some oil refineries as well. But, yeah, we're gonna need some extra space here. We'll only need coal and then steam. And steam we already have. The question is, do I want to make lower temperature steam? Because this is high temperature steam, so I'm basically burning nuclear fuel to get it, and that makes it more expensive technically, but is that really that big of a deal? Probably not. I could just use boilers on carbon to make steam as well. What's carbon's fuel value? 2 megajoules. I could also use excess oil products to make solid fuel and burn burn that for steam. Yeah, I'll just use the nuclear steam. That's fine. Problem is going to be piping it. I can move these two up a tile. Alright. So then... That's good. Are you bringing refineries yet? No, you're not, because you're doing all these other things. Alright, fair enough. You'll bring refineries eventually. And when you do, we also need to do heavy oil barrels, so let's do that. Be right here. Bada bing, bada boom. Barrel heavy oil. Connect. Quest. Oh my god, we don't need 478 barrels. How about just 50? But that's fine. Alright, so there we go. There's a bunch of heavy oil barrels. And then we request some. 20 should be fine. What's the rocket capacity? 100? Okay, so I need a minimum payload of 20. That's fine. Okay, and then we're gonna want to use beacons for the refineries and the other stuff. I don't know how many we're gonna need. I'm just probably gonna do 2 and trust that that's enough. I don't actually know where we're connecting anything yet. Let's see. So the heavy oil's the output, so we're gonna want a tank that we utilize to connect. Always gotta sneeze. Alright, so then we can just loop that around. This is slightly annoying because there's no logistic spots. You have to like grab the heavy oil from the actual pod, but we should just be able to get this pipe filled up with some heavy oil to start. And that should do it. Wait, what? Are you serious? So you're saying, like, if I had a gear-making assembler, I could grab iron like this and just deliver them? What the heck? I never knew that. That is insanely powerful. That almost feels... like, on the one hand, I'm like, that's great. On the other hand, I'm like, should that even be allowed? That's crazy. I mean... for the reasons I was just discussing, that like it's kind of annoying that to move items around you have to grab them out with an inserter. Like that's kind of annoying too, but that also almost feels too good. You could do that with nuclear fuel in a reactor and everything. Interesting. Interesting. All right, anyway, the steam is here. So let's get that hooked up. And now we should be able to just deliver coal. Or maybe have it here. Or no, I guess we need it one time. Okay. And this is for the sulfur. So I could probably get rid of the carbon. Though, easier said than done. I need an underground slot for that. Cool. So there we go. And then we're gonna have to do two things. So what I do know, I guess we're moving. What I do know is that there's a new recipe which allows us to turn petroleum back into heavy oil. So we can fully loop anything into anything we want. It's very inefficient, but the nice thing about it is that, you know, we're not having to just turn all the petroleum into solid fuel and burn it or whatever. So I will do that. So we can do chemical plants and water to turn the light oil into petroleum and all the petroleum back into heavy oil, and then we have purely heavy oil. So we'll take our chem plants, and we're gonna need water up here. That's a bit tricky, but we'll figure it out. Let's maybe set up the final step first. What's the final step here for the super sealant? Cryogenic plants, probably, because they can hold way more modules for productivity. Heavy oil, steam, and sulfur. Okay. So, I guess I don't have uncommon ones, but let's set these up so that they also benefit from the same modules, or the same beacons. We'll try to, at least. And those are gonna have max prod. These are gonna be max speed. These are gonna be max prod. The simple liquefaction recipe is way more expensive, like absurdly so. And I don't think we have enough coal to support it, to be perfectly honest. I mean, you're talking 10 coal for 50 heavy oil, not to mention the sulfuric acid. Here, it's 10 coal for 70, well, what is that? 65 heavy oil, 20 light oil, and 10 petroleum. I guess it's only about double as productive. What I was remembering was the calcite cost goes from a decent amount to basically zero on Vulcanus. His steam costs, you know, a tiny bit of calcite, but basically zero. That's what I was remembering. The coal is, I guess, about half price, or slightly less than half price, maybe, because of the recycling. Alright, let's flip you so the steam can be connected. And then I may have to do this so that I can do this. And then that's going to be the product heavy oil, so we need a pump. That only allows itself to pump if we have enough. Heavy oil greater than, I don't know, 1,000, 500? That's plenty for the catalyst loop. Okay, so there's the heavy oil. And then the sulfur is right here. How are we going to output this? I don't know yet. And we're going to have to work that back to here, which is going to be a nightmare. An absolute... Oh my god, is this even possible? Maybe. Maybe. I can get it up here. I can go right there. So that's gonna be super sealant substance is less than, I don't know what it stacks to. It stacks to only 20. Okay. So then, let's see. So how many stacks do I want to hold? That would be 50 stacks. That's a lot of stacks. That's maybe too many. Let's do less than maybe 500. 25 stacks. And the belt will be stacked, so we should have a decent amount. So what we're gonna do here is stack, insert. Oh, we're already making it. Wow, nice. Stack, insert. Go up here. And then work our way down and around. And of course we're on the wrong side of the belt for this, but that can be fixed by going the other way. Like that. And then that'll side load onto that side. Okay, so that is all working. So now we just need to crack the heavy oil. Yeah, Alexis, we do have the Maraxsis mod on. We are working on getting super sealant down to the planet Maraxsis. Okay, so we just need water over here. Say just, like we have room for pipe spaghetti. Which we do not. I can maybe pipe spaghetti some water. No, we can't go across two of those buildings. Damn it. So I can get it up there. I guess ice chunks are right here. Oh, no, I have water right here. Just need to figure out a way to connect this water over. That's a bit easier. We can do this, and then this, that, and, well, this. We might need to, okay, and then probably a single chem plant for each. That's good enough. Maybe not. We might need 2 light oil crackers. No! Damn it. Getting more efficient by the minute. More inefficient by the minute is what I meant to say. What did I just say? More efficient by the minute? This is not getting more efficient by the minute. Oh no, and that just deleted all my heavy oil. Oh no, we're good, we're good. Those have heavy oil in them. Alright, and then that goes back to... Being able to flip things is so nice. Let me tell you what. Alright. Now, the problem is this. Alright, that should do it. And then... I guess... I really should move this one tile over so that I can get... more speed and productivity going. So So we're turning coal into as much heavy oil as possible. All right. And I believe now that is turning coal and some nuclear fuel cells into super sealant. At most productive I can make it, minus legendary prod modules. Uh-oh, no, this is still on, since I moved it. There we go. Okay. And super sealant is not cheap. It's 100 heavy oil per sealant, so it does not come easy. But there we go. We've got some. So now, back to Maraxsis. We should be able to plop down a rocket silo. Maybe more towards the middle of the base here. And put in some prod modules. Oh, I want beacons, though. But I'm guessing you can't put them inside. That would be ridiculous. So we are going to need to put it next to... I'm really hoping that a beacon can go across the boundary here. And make it nice and fast. Get rid of these cliffs. Alright, and then we're going to have a chest with all the things we want. And then we're going to need to put in a request for super sealant. And we'll do... So, rocket parts are really cheap now. Like, a whole rocket is only like 20 rocket parts with all the productivity I've got going on. Or less. You know, what even... This has a productivity of 106%. So, I only need... 25, and that is adding in the research, I believe, wherever it is. All these, I understand it's probably a base game engine thing, but it's still very obnoxious that productivity bonuses for the same items and the same categories of things are all separate. Like, this is the rocket fuel productivity, this is also the rocket fuel productivity. This is also the rocket fuel productivity. Those could all be next to each other, like these are. Same with even the asteroid. Like, even though these are different, they're recipes for different items, they all really should be together for, like, player brain understanding. It's just unnecessary that they're all separate. Anyway, this is the one I'm looking at, which is rocket part bonus. Anyway. All that to say, I only need 25 for one rocket, so if I request like 500 of everything, that should be plenty. So we'll do 500 super sealant, 500 rocket fuel, 500 low density structure, and 500 processing units. And that is enough for 20 rocket launches. Prod recipes will function different for each ratio of item in the recipe. I don't know what you mean, because at least with what I'm understanding you're saying, that's not true. Like, the steel here and the steel here both get a 30% flat bonus tacked onto whatever the building they're in is doing. So effectively it would still make perfect sense for these two icons to be next to each other, because they are both getting exactly a 30% productivity bonus. There's no reason they should be in a separate window. Because for player understanding, separating them into two separate bonuses is not helping you understand. it's like, well, steel has a 30%. So yeah, there's that's something I hope maybe changes in 2.1. I could see that changing. Okay, why is this not? Oh, we don't have power. That's a big reason why it wouldn't work. There we go. All right, underwater rockets. Love it. So cool. All right, so then the final thing we need to do is load all that delicious science onto the rocket. This is where I really don't like quality. I actually just had a long conversation on the Discord about quality. I've become less and less I am liking quality less and less the more I play with it. But this is one of the areas where it's the most annoying, because it's like, I don't want to make 5 different requests for hydraulic science. And the other problem is that if the goal is to have 10,000 hydraulic science packs, there's no way to just do that without setting, you know, you could try to set the exact ratio of each one that you need that you would get in 10,000, but it's never going to work out exactly right. And if you're missing, oh, if I don't have enough rares to meet the requirement, but I have enough of the others, it's then going to think its requests are not satisfied. You know, there's just all sorts of little annoyances. So what I'm thinking is we could just manually load, but then the problem is that we would need it to not launch based on conditions. So what we might need to do is set the loading inserters. I forget what all we can read here. I can read orbital requests, but that's not what we want. I want to read orbital contents. Can we not do that? I mean, I guess we can make the requests and they just won't automatically be met because we have this unchecked. So we can use the requests as a form because the requests are going to subtract the contents. So that can be a weird form of reading the contents. Gosh, that's so janky. That's so janky for such a simple idea, which is I just want to load 10,000 science into this sucker. All right. Yeah, exactly, Demon. That's what I'm thinking. We could set the request, and then we can subtract the request from a constant to then get what we have. Which is just really odd, but technically works. So what I can do... The other problem is it won't go into negative, so I have to make them a relatively large request. Like, I could request 10,000 of each pack. And then we can measure the amount we have by subtracting that off. Yeah, not a fan of this kind of jank to do what is a very simple... You know, because one of the Factorio tenets of design is to try to remove the player overhead. Like, if you're trying to do a simple idea, it shouldn't be extremely complicated to do it. And this is like the opposite of that. It's like, I just want 10,000 science packs of any quality. And there's literally no way to do that without combinators and sending signals and subtracting things from combinators. Alright. Now, to be fair, a way around that is to not make quality science packs, right? Like, that's the default game workaround. But, like, with the Maraxsis mod, with the hydraulic plants, you know, having a default quality, you actually have to work kind of hard to not have quality. You can add enough speed module beacons to make it possible, but it's not easy. Anyway, actually, is it possible? Hold on. I forgot. Beacons don't stack additively. So I'm not even sure if it is possible to fully remove quality. I'm kind of curious now. I almost just want to try it out. If we had... This is totally a tangent. But if I had max speed going. Okay, so you can only have 4 per side as well. If we have max speed in all these, do we get down to 0 quality? No, we don't. Oh wait, maybe we do. Nope, we're down to 4%. That's the lowest you can get. Okay, so you actually cannot remove quality from your hydraulic science packs. There's still a little bit. I mean, 4% is pretty low, sure, but it's never going to be gone. Just an interesting tidbit of information. Okay, so anyway, we're measuring, so we're going to need to do an arithmetic combinator. And basically the request, okay, so the request is 10,000 right now, which is saying we have 0 packs. If the request is 8,000, we need it to show up as 2,000 packs. So what I need to do is negate the request and add 10,000 in that order. And then I think we get what we want. So we need 2 arithmetics in a row, where this will do each times -1 output each, and this will do each plus 10,000 output each. Well, hold on, what am I even doing with all these? What's my goal here? My goal is to add the 5 signals together, and if I have 10,000, then I stop loading packs into the rocket. Oh, this is gonna be really problematic, actually. I'm gonna need to have separate, I'm gonna need to put... No, we can send mixed loads. Never mind, I'm okay. For a second, I forgot we could send mixed loads in the rocket when we're doing it manually, and I was like, oh god, if we load a single legendary pack into there, it won't be able to send a rocket until I have enough legendary packs to send a full one. But no, we're okay, It doesn't work that way. I could use a constant combinator with the group of the ship. Yeah. If the packs recycle into themselves, you could go pure legendary. I doubt they recycle into themselves. Why would they? You never know, though. I guess we can find out pretty easily now. They do. Wait, why would they recycle into themselves? That's weird. Maybe because it has saline water? Is that how all research packs work? I guess it is. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, full legendary I think is way too expensive. It would probably be better to do like full rare or full epic, and you actually trash the higher ones. I'm sure there's a breakpoint somewhere. It might even be full uncommon, to be honest, because, you know, a decent percent are going to be normal, and a decent percent are already uncommon. And uncommons are already double the base level, but rares aren't quadruple. So rares are still only triple, so you lose a ton going from uncommon to rare even. So it's probably like if you were just doing 1 pack, uncommon would probably be it. You probably get enough uncommons already that it wouldn't be worth trashing all the uncommons, given that they're double the value. But anyway. So, okay, what we need to do now is this. Those. So then now this is outputting the actual amount of contents that we have. Oh, here's the other problem, is this is delayed. This was an issue in space exploration as well, that made things really complicated, is that, because you were literally doing something similar. What's ironic though is the space exploration mod, this was easier in the space exploration mod, because you actually could just read the contents of your space stuff directly on the planet. So that's kind of funny to me, that a mod had a better quality of life feature made by the same developer who worked on this game. So it's like, I don't know what's going on there. I think I think they really tried to dumb it down in a way that almost like Apple does, you know, with their products, where it's like, we don't want players getting in trouble. We don't want to make it too complicated. And I think in doing that, they removed some functionality that players who actually know what they're doing really need to make it simpler. So they weirdly made it like more complicated by making it simpler. Also, check out the graphics on the the dome here. A little bit of Z fighting going on with these sprites. Anyway, what am I actually doing? So what we want to do is we want to run the insert. We need this sum together. How do you sum each? Can you sum each? Or are we going to have to actually add separately? I feel like there should be... You want to do this often enough that there should be a sum all signals function in combinators, but I don't know if there is a way to just sum all signals. The way to sum all signals would be to convert... We need to output the input. So do we need a decider then? And we can convert them all to the same signal? I think that might work. So anything that's greater than 0, output the input count, but as a green signal. Does that work the way I think it will? You guys sound like you're saying similar things in chat, but combinators are hard. I think that'll do what we want. So then this is now outputting the count of packs that I have landed on the ship, which is always going to be delayed. King, you're saying no, this won't work. Why not? Oh, this will count the input of green signals, not of the each. And he's saying do each times 1? Or each plus 0? Those would both work. Well, can I just do that? Just put green as my final, rather than each. And then it will do what we want. And then we can say if green is less than 10,000, then you're gonna go ahead and load it up. And this is already my prioritized belt, so that should work fine. Oh, I think we did it. It should load a full rocket. Oh, no, it's already not working. Well, that's problematic. Oh, we weren't reading requests. There we go. I think that's it. And it doesn't automatically launch? Forgot about that. Check the box. No, I don't want to check that box. Am I missing something? Or is there no way to do this, actually? Well, no, because if I do this, then it's gonna request, in the logistics sense, it's gonna actually request all the packs that we're requesting. It does work, but won't launch with mixed items. God damn it. Oh. Space Age! There's so many frustrating things like this. One silo per quality? Oh my gosh. This is so frustrating to me. Like, we already did jank to make it work better, and it still doesn't work. The fact that there's no launch when full button, I've seen multiple people complain about this, and I really don't understand why they removed it from the game. It used to exist. And I understand there's the edge case of what if there are 5 platforms in orbit, which platform does it send to? And there are some really good solutions to that edge case, right? Like, there are some great solutions, like, oh, you could have it so that you just literally, I mean, because you have a limited number of platforms in this game, right? So what you could do is you could have a filter where you could just tell it which platforms it's allowed to send to, and if there are multiples of those platforms, you could then have a checkbox of like, send to a random one or don't send at all, if there's multiples in orbit of the ones that it's allowed to send to. But most of the time, you're only going to want it to send to one platform when you're setting up something like this, at least. You know, in most cases, it would be your science ship that's delivering things back to Nauvis. And so because that's the only platform you have selected in the filter list, it's the only one it would ever send to, and it would always launch when full, and be good to go. Yeah, I mean, just being able to communicate via circuits would be great. Being able to launch based on a circuit condition would be great. Being able to launch automatically when full would be great. I'm literally like, how do I even solve this now? Because one silo per quality, I guess, works. Does that work? Might. I mean, really, the simplest solution is to just be bothered by the fact that I have 5 different requests and just move on with my life. You know, like, at this point, it's way too much work to get it working the other way. So we'll just request less than 10,000 of each. And, you know, we can at least try to approximate our ratio a little bit. And then we just have the ship leave after a certain amount of time, even if the requests are not satisfied. So the ratio is about 30%, maybe 32% on average. So that means about 70% are normal quality. No, sorry, it's higher than that. Whoa, no, math, Krydax. We're starting out with higher quality than that, because these 2 buildings are creating the ingredients, and they have about 40% quality. So if we're starting out with about 40%, so 60% normals, and then those 60% of normals are getting 30% upgraded, then that means we're ending with only, oh my goodness, oh, so much math. So 60% times is 42% are normal at the end of the day. And then we're getting about 36% are uncommon as far as ingredients go. And then that's times 0.7, so 0.36 times 0.7. About 25% are uncommon. Oh my goodness. This is... I do think this is actually the easiest way, because having one of each type of silo, I kind of like that, but I don't have... I would need so many more resources to make 4 more silos, which we could do. It would just be a lot of trips. But let's just try this. Let's do about 4,000 of these, about 3,000 of these, 2,000 rares, 1,000, and 1,000. And it's close-ish to our ratios. It's not exactly right. You can circuit control what you want to load to silo. Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm already doing that. But I would just have to load exactly one at a time, which means I'd have to filter. I would have to have 5 silos, or I could look. I mean, I guess I could just have these separate and I could just do one at a time, but even that gets really complicated. So I'm moving on with my life. That's really frustrating. I hope Yeah, and then I would just put the requester chest here. And I could pick which one I'm loading. But there we go. I wish there was a new special effect, but I'm imagining that's not easy to do. It might not even be possible to do, mod-wise, but like with bubbles instead of, you know, the thruster. But we did it! We launched a rocket off Maraxsis. So yeah, I think my major thought here is that 2.1 is coming and it will bring some improvements. And we'll see if those improvements are good enough or not so much to actually, you know, fix some of the problems we're having. Now the other question is, what's going on here? Uh-oh. I didn't connect the petroleum correctly. Oh, that's one tile too far. There we go. Yeah, I mean, it does seem like most players, their biggest gripe with the game is related to just the large variety of issues there are with space platform logistics. I mean, I've seen 20 Reddit posts by now talking about it, and what's interesting is they're not all making the same exact points, and so when you compile the whole list together, it's kind of rough. It's kind of rough for sure. And I, like, some of them, like, yeah, Wascally, I agree that some of them are ones where it's like, okay, if that's what the designers are going for, that's fair. It just might not be something that everybody likes, right? And that there's room for that too. I was talking about this when I was playing Path of Exile 2. The Path of Exile 2 devs have some very interesting desires for their game that I don't think some of the community, you know, likes. But people will say, like, it's a bad game because XYZ. And it's like, well, no, it's not a bad game because XYZ. It's just not your game, right? Like, you don't have to like everything about a game. Developers like to design things in certain ways because they're designing a game with their vision, and that vision doesn't have to perfectly match what you like in a game. And it can still be a great game, right? And so some of these things are preference-based, is all I'm saying. And it's okay that some of my preferences aren't perfectly met. I do think some of them are actually, like, more arguably design issues that like, if a huge chunk of your player base is having issues with something and they don't like it, then there is a moment as a dev when you have to step back and you have to ask, like, you know, it's like the Simpsons meme where he's like, no, it's the kids who are wrong, or whatever, however he says it, where it's like, at some point you have to ask, is what you're actually designing fun for most people? You know, and sometimes you make a mistake with that as a dev. And the Wooba devs have even talked about this very thing, and they've admitted mistakes on multiple fronts in the past. You know, they've done 400 Factorio Friday facts, and quite a few of them have this sense of like, hey, we didn't get it quite right on the first time, and we're trying to redo it in this way. So they certainly are not like, this is not a bash on the devs at all. It simply is like, I think they made some mistakes with the space platform logistics, mistakes and or didn't have enough time to make it what they wanted it to be. And I'm hoping some of those things change with 2.1. Wascally, that's exactly my point. I actually think that's how logistics should feel. You should be able to feel like you've solved your space platform logistics so it's not a pain to set up a new thing every time. I think the point of Factorio is going bigger and getting to the point where you can kind of just do this distilled Factorio or factory making, rather than every single time I set up a request, it does take a lot of annoyance. And I think space platforms are something that are a bit in their own way right now. All right, let's move some of this science to the planet. I don't know how much I have, but we'll go to Nauvis. And then let's see. I guess we'll just add some more of these because we're gonna need more quest space. Because we're gonna set up some requests for the types. All the hydraulic types. Yeah, Wascally, I just don't agree. I don't agree that the problems I face are of my own creation. I think there are plenty of problems in Space Age that are of the game's creation, that lots of people are dealing with, and not just me. And it's not something that's fixable. Some of them are. Like I was saying, some of them are preferences, right? Some of them there are ways to solve it, and I just don't like that that's the only way to solve it, right? There are some things that have solutions, and I don't like what the solutions are. And that's a preference thing. But, you know, I do think there are actually some things where, you know, the issue is with the design of the UI and the UX with the platforms, and there's really no ways to solve it. And we've talked about many of those in previous videos, so I'm not gonna keep harping on it, but I hope 2.1 fixes some things. Is my short summary. Yeah, the Gleba fixes I think were pretty good. It sounds like Gleba really got a lot better after those changes. I never played it before, so I can't really speak to that, but I mean, Gleba might be my favorite planet of all of them. As far as my experience, like, getting to play the puzzle sandbox part of that planet, I think that might have been my favorite. So they did a really good job with that. All right. There we go, sending science down. You know, I just realized this YouTube recording is 1 hour and 40 minutes, but here we are. All right, and this is just gonna request. You know what? I don't care what it's gonna request. Well, no. See, this isn't gonna work. Ah, see, this is where quality. Is there a way? I forget which ones work and which ones don't. Because what I want is to sum together inequality, which I can't do right here, can I? I have to make a combinator for that, I believe. So we need a combinator that measures, that sums together all the qualities of the hydraulic packs. So, and this is another thing where it's just, again, it's like, yes, there's a solution, but I wish you could not have to use a combinator for this. I wish you could sum together qualities just wherever you can use a condition. I wish you could set the inequality button and it would just sum together all the qualities of that item. And that would have applications all over the place. I wanted this feature so many times throughout my playthrough. Ah, not cryogenic, hydraulic. So we do hydraulic times 1. Output of, you know, whatever, green. And then we just need to attach that here. And then... Wait, what am I doing? No, this doesn't work. Wait, how do I do this again? Sum all qualities is on the selector combinator? Okay. We'll use that one instead. Is it quality filter? And we just do that. You're gonna have to tell me more how this works, because I'm not seeing how this is gonna work. Because that says it picks the highest quality of found signals. So that's going to pick rare, for example. So that's not summing them. Now, I guess what I could do... What could I do? I could select from that signal... Well, this would... No, that's solving a different problem. Avoid the sushi for the science? Oh, I can't avoid the sushi now. No. That's no fun. There really has got to be an easy way to do this, right? To just sum the 5 qualities of a specific type of item. There's got to be an easier way. I do... Again, at the core, I think we shouldn't even need a combinator to do this, but I do think there's got to be an easy way to do it with combinators, right? Come on, y'all. Let's put our heads together. I mean, there is the very obvious answer of 5 arithmetic combinators. But that doesn't seem like the answer. I think... Rather... At the same time, I don't actually know how else to do it. There might be a way to multiply... I wonder if that works. Can you multiply each... Hold on. I actually don't know how it works. If you multiply each with each... Can you multiply each from the red multiplied with each from the green, but it'll only multiply the exact same signal across the eaches? So then I could have a signal of 1 of each quality from a constant combinator. Like this. And then those are going to be the things that it will multiply with for its own signal. So if I hook this up with a red wire, and then this up with a green wire, and I only do the green there times the red there, and then we output some total signal. I think that's it. I think that does it. Now, you do have to set the things you're looking at in a constant combinator, so it's a 2 combinator. But I think that works. Yeah. I mean, we'll find out, I guess. And then in this, we just need to request all the types. And I thought of another way. This was a minute ago when we were talking about the selector combinator. I thought of a way that we could use the selector combinator to prioritize the inserter, always inserting the highest quality that we have. But that's, like I said a minute ago, that's solving a different problem. But we could use the selector combinator to say, hey, if we've got, you know, basically just filter the inserter based on the selector combinator, and the selector combinator will select the highest quality and will read the contents of the requester chest. But I don't actually really care about that. So, the problem is I'm still not connecting this to there. And that needs to not be selected to that, and that needs to say enable if the green signal is less than 600. Okay. I think we did it. Cool. Decider combinator, each greater than 0, output whatever. Well, the problem with that is that we've got all the colors here, not just hydraulic science. So it would be summing all of the sciences together. not just the hydraulic. I think. All right. So now we can try some of these fancy new sciences. So the enemies, unfortunately, are not in the game yet. That explains why we didn't see them in the trenches. But I would like to start with this bad boy, the conduit. And see what it can do. And then there's also deep sea research. So all of the novice packs get a new recipe, and you can use fancy Maraxsis stuff, and they all can be crafted only in the trench. So you have to make it. I guess that's why he just made the trenches bigger, because you need a decent amount of space, you know, down there to craft all your science down there if you're wanting to. But you can make it way more productive. I imagine, though, if you're doing all your science on Novice, that still might not be worth it. I don't know. Those are pretty big numbers. And it certainly is cheap stuff. You know, saline water's free. But... well, there's lava on Maraxsis, Wascally, so you can pretty easily make copper and iron in huge amounts, just like you can on Vulcanus. So it's almost like being able to make all the science packs on Vulcanus, in a way. Just with the restriction of being in the trench is pretty big, and that makes me feel like, given the small-ish size of the domes and the small-ish nature of the trench, having to do that all in the domes could be more annoying than it's worth, but you know, it's a good strong upgrade. What would be nice is if there was a way to expand the trench. Kind of like some sort of super explosive that would let you slowly clear out more space. So you could make kind of a nice big grid base area, at least, even though they're all in the domes, you could at least grid the domes. I think the nature of how small trenches are. Now, I did hear I have a very small... This sentence sounds very weird. I have a very small trench. Is the sentence that came out of my mouth for the first time in my life. Don't read into it. But yeah, apparently they're normally wider than this. But even so, even if it was triple this size, that still is a pretty small area to make all of your science in. So I do feel that if the goal is to make Maraxsis a potential end-game area where you would craft all of your novice sciences, then maybe an ability to expand the trench somehow. Kind of like we have Foundation once we get to Aquilo. Maybe we could combine Foundation with explosives of some sort and slowly expand the trench. You know, basically dig out an undersea cavern to have more space in. That's my bright idea. I don't know if it's bright. That's my idea. Alright, do we have more? Okay, what's going on here? Why do we not have more science? What's the big idea? I actually have no idea. What? Oh. Wait. No, something's going on. Never mind. I am confused. The big idea is that we're not getting... Okay, well that's a problem. So this is not crafting because we don't have worm confinement cells. We don't have worm confinement cells because we don't have steel. Oh. Right. I kind of forgot we needed that. LOL. Okay. Well, first thing I want to do then is that. Oh, we were stuck in a loop anyway. Perfect. That means we have some more barrels to delete. Oh, I guess I need to do it. I don't have any construction bots active. I doubt the steel is enough. only get 1/4 of a steel per barrel, and we get, I guess, about 2 confinement cells per steel, and then we're getting 1 worm specimen, or well, still about 2 worm specimens per steel, and then science-wise, that gets us about 6 packs, maybe 5, about 5 hydraulic science packs per steel. So then the question is, how many barrels am I burning through? Because that's about 1 to 1.5 hydraulic science pack per barrel is the exchange rate there. Not to mention the filters need steel as well. Okay. So then we actually need steel here, which means I do need to maybe do some lava. There's some lava right up here. Let's check that out. Do I need the calcite though? Or is there a different recipe here? Because calcite we could always drop from space, but that's another step. And yes, by the way, this episode, it is 2 hours long already. I'm just doing the rest of the I'm doing the rest of Maraxsis in this episode because well, it's hard. It's like I think we're pretty close to done because we were already done with our Space Age playthrough, and I just wanted to check out Maraxsis, and I want to check out this this beacon. But apart from that, like I don't feel the drive to like set up every single new thing. Like this is a thing where it's like it's really useful, but I don't really have a use for it in my save right now, which is the extra cargo landing pads. And then what was the other one that I really liked? Super sealant productivity. It's easier if I just click on this. No, that's cryogenic. No. I want hydraulic. There we go. Oh, the preservatives. Preservatives are super nice too because you can preserve your bioflux and then you can easily get nutrients anywhere with an unspoilable nature, which is something I actually really, really like. But yeah, most of the glass and the sealant productivity are basically only going to matter here. Same with liquid atmosphere. That's just another Maraxis-based thing. Same with torpedoes. So really the main ones are the cargo landing pad capacity, preserving stuff, the sonar, which is like a giant radar, can be placed on land for huge coverage distance, and then being able to make the other science packs here, deep sea research, and then the effect transmission. So those are the main like boosts that Maraxsis can do for the rest of your base. Okay, I'm a little curious how I'm going to do this. I might need to set up another sub. I might just end up dropping steel from here because it's not that hard. So that might just be the easy solution. But we also could grab some lava. Does this just use an offshore pump like normal? I don't know how lava works here. Yes, that does just work. So then we have lava. And I don't think any new lava recipes have gotten added. No, so we would need calcite. Which we would just source from space. Yeah. Alright, well, I've really enjoyed Maraxsis. I'm excited to check out these. Let's make sure we have what we need to build them. Beacons, sealant. I guess I need normal beacons. That's kind of funny. I need to go get normal beacons. I think I only... No, I do have some normals. Okay, good. We'll drop those down. And then we'll go to Vulcanus real quick for another atmosphere trip. But yeah, big fan of Maraxsis. Pretty sweet. I feel like it adds kind of a niche that Space Age didn't quite hit on, so it doesn't feel like it's just copying off of another planet. It's got some interesting challenges. The domes are cool. So overall, I would give it a good grade. It's hard to give it an A+, because you know, very few things are A+, but it's pretty good. I think obviously it's still missing a feature with the enemies and needing torpedoes and that sort of thing, so that could be good when it's added. I am a little bit confused on why torpedoes come after you're done with the planet, because then at that point you're kind of already done with the planet, so what's the point of needing torpedoes? And if you're already needing to make stuff in the trench, if they're like demolishers where you don't fight them unless you want to fight them, then the question becomes, what's the point of fighting them? So there's a couple things where I'm not totally certain of what's going on, but anywho, yeah, Dave, you gotta finish your mod already so we can play it. Get that thing done. I know you're probably not anywhere near being done. Alright, now the other question is, do we have enough hydraulic science, or are we gonna run out? I think we're gonna have enough, because I had at least 1,000 uncommons, and that by itself is already enough, isn't it? Because my lab productivity is like 3x. I'm 3 or 3.5xing my science right now, and 1,000 uncommons is going to be 2,000 units worth of science already, which then if you're 3xing is 6,000. So yeah, plenty of that. All right, let's make some of these bad boys. I do like the graphics of the dome. It is kind of one of those, and this is more of a Factorio game engine issues. Like, I wish when you were mousing over something, the mouse had like a little region where it would make things invisible that are in the front layer, so you could see the back layer kind of thing. But it's, I don't really think there's any way to do that sort of thing with the Factorio engine, sadly. Okay, these are made in the hydro plant, so that's why I can't find it right there. Ooh, I like how it's just a Protoss pylon. There's a guy named Hurricane, and I believe this is his art, and this is very much a Protoss pylon, which I love. All right. Ooh, we got a rare one. Nice. Okay, so they're 3x3. They've got a massive area. What I'm curious is, how do they... I'm curious about multiple things, actually. Okay, you still can't put... Oh, they have 4 modules as well. I didn't realize that. So let's go outside of some other... you can do quality, not prod. I was just testing prod just to double check that it couldn't, but I already figured it couldn't. It's quality that you can put in these new modules. So that will allow you to have better quality builds, basically. But it says that each placed conduit contributes only half as much distribution efficiency as the last. So what I'm taking that to mean is that it's one of those like geometric series where you could put 50 of them and it would only total up to 1 distribution efficiency. So like, if I were to put a single one of these modules, we're gonna see a 25% power discount. No, that's a 15% power discount. Uh-oh. Oh, because I already have the other beacons. So if I were to put one here, then that's a 25% power discount. And then if I were to put more, it would approach a 50% power discount, which it looks like it is. Okay, cool. Now, but how does that interact with regular beacons is kind of the other thing I'm wondering about. Because if you've got a regular beacon and one of these, are they just... do they have a separate curve? Or do they affect they would have to have a separate curve, because in the game, I don't know if you guys remember the FFF, but they talked about the new beacon mechanics, and it's just a table of values. So they have to not interact with each other, because these have a different table of values. You know, this goes 0.5, 0.75, 0.875, you know, basically approaching 1. And these have their values of 1.5, you know, and then the square root equation. So I don't think... I mean, according to the building, it has them as separate. There you go. Okay, they are totally separate. So then these are really powerful, because this is another way to get 4 modules applied. You could use speed modules, you can use productivity modules, or sorry, not productivity, quality modules, which means with more quality comes, you know, great responsibility. Let's go get some quality modules real quick. You can speed and quality at the same time. It just isn't going to be as effective. But my point is that with these new beacons, by being able to add another set of modules, it allows you to more elegantly mix speed and quality to achieve optimal ratios. You know what I mean? Because by having a much higher baseline quality, adding a little bit of speed could really be worth it, even though you take a little bit of a quality hit. So for a late game base that wants to make legendary everything, I imagine this Maraxsis beacon is going to be a huge deal. Not to mention, a legendary one is going to transmit 0.75, which means as you have more beacons, that's approaching 1.5. Times 4 modules, that's approaching 6 more quality modules, is what that is basically saying. When an assembler only has 4 by default, that's a huge boost. I mean, what even is a legendary quality 3? 6.2%? So you would have 62% quality on that assembler at a baseline. So obviously adding a little bit of speed module is a huge boost, and it would only drop you down a few, you know, 5 or 10% on quality. So you could still have a 52% quality assembler that goes way faster because you have 4, you know, speed 3s affecting it. Okay, so this thing's still flying. Wouldn't it remove the fun of the game? Seems like cheat code. Quality already is a cheat code. I don't really, I mean, yes, it makes it even more powerful, but you have to do more work for it, and you have to do another planet for it, and quality is already kind of ridiculously powerful, so does it really change that much? I mean, yes, but also no. I would say it's one of those situations where you're making a really powerful thing even more powerful. It's not maybe meant to be perfectly balanced. It's supposed to be powerful. It's a mod, right? You're only getting this mod for fun, not because, you know, you need, I don't know, you need it to be like perfectly balanced as if it's shipped alongside Space Age. Yeah, exactly, Wascally. There's already some issues with just moving items around fast enough. I do think this will make your quality builds much smaller, though. Being able to put some quality in the beacons allows your quality builds to be smaller, and that's kind of, you know, nice, if anything, because it allows for one way to not have to make these gigantic builds. But at the same time, that's one of the things I don't love about quality in the first place, is that, oh, interesting, we don't have raiders. It's also interesting we don't have more regulars, because I thought we fixed that. Did we not fix regular bot making? Oh, I guess this just was getting full, was the issue. Oh, LOL. I'm recycling all the normal bots. Haha, that's why we were having issues. Because we wanted rare bots, we were recycling normal bots, but then I wanted normal bots. to put in the ship, and then we made a nice little infinite recycling resource deletion loop right there. Nice, nice, nice. Anyway, let's head back to Maraxsis. Power poles aren't a challenge of any sort. Yeah, I mean, I think having higher quality big power poles is what they were going for. I think the bonus isn't big enough on the wire reach, personally. I think the wire reach of a legendary should be like 80. You know, like, why not give us just a 2-tile bonus is hilariously bad for each quality level. I think I said this in a different stream, but when we were tier listing all the items, I was talking about this. I feel like there should be a different bonus based on which pole it is. So big electric poles are all about reaching really far. So they should leave the supply area at 4x4. That shouldn't even be upgraded, but the wire reach should be upgraded by a lot, right? And then substations, I think it would actually be interesting if the wire reach didn't upgrade at all, but the supply area gets really big. So you actually need to bring power, like if you were just to grid substations with the bigger ones, they wouldn't connect to each other, and you would have to connect them with big poles. And that actually is interesting, because now you have this huge area, but the wire is kind of stubby. And then for medium poles, I actually like increasing both to just kind of have them be a good all-rounder. Yeah, because at this point, a medium legendary pole is basically a substation, and there's no reason to use substations at that point, unless you really just want a little bit more area. Yeah, the legendary substation is nice for sure, but it still is like... it doesn't feel legendary, it just feels better, I would say, in terms of the amount. To the point where it almost feels like it's almost a for fun type of quality. You know, some items the quality increase is massive. For poles, it's kind of like, it's better, which is nice. It's fine. Not everything has to be amazing. All right, so we're gonna try out that quality thing, and then we are gonna call it a wrap on Maraxsis. All right, so what is that square thing? I don't know what you mean. There are lots of square things. Cube thing in my spaceship. Oh. Cube thing? Oh, the item. Oh, that's the super sealant that you need on Maraxsis to launch. It's basically an additional rocket part. Okay, so if I place these, and then I put quality in all of them. First of all, that just feels weird to do. But then, if I were to place an assembler, that gets me to 18.6% quality. And if I were to add 3 more, that would only get us to 19.7% quality. So very much diminishing returns, yes. Also, these take quite a bit of power at 5 megawatts each. But then if I put quality, I don't know, let's just make insert. Then if I put quality in here, then we've got 37.4% quality. Nice. Nice. What about hydro plant? Well, I guess we would need a hydro plant underwater. Would have 8 slots. What do I have that has more slots? Here we go. Cryo plant. That gets us up to 56.2% quality. So yeah, that's a nice little change. And then you can, you know, by doing that, that allows you, like I was saying a minute ago, you know, normally you wouldn't want to use too many speed modules, though I still think even with baseline Factorio, there are times where you want a little bit of speed module. Because, I mean, look, ignore these new pylons. This is just, you know, space age as it actually stands right now. This thing's got 37.6% quality. I throw in some epic speed modules. It still has 27.2% quality. But look at this crafting speed. It's 9.16, whereas this is only 1.2. So we're talking like 8 times the crafting speed for a you know, 10% quality hit. And while that does sound like a lot, if the base resources that you're spending are not that expensive, it's totally going to be a smaller base at the end of the day to do it that way. But then this only further increases that reality. By being able to add more quality, you make the idea of losing 10% quality less expensive in a way, because it's a smaller ratio of what you're actually sacrificing. So now we can have that 8.7% crafting speed, but still have 45% quality. So yeah, these conduits are pretty cool. And they have a huge area too, which is nice, but they diminish very quickly, right? For those who are thinking, I could just stack 50 of these. If you didn't hear it before, each placed conduit contributes only half as much, which basically means there is a hard limit. You can see the graph here. After you've placed 4 of them, you basically already have most of the bonus. So even though they affect a huge area, you can't really stack that many of them. This is actually pretty close to what I was thinking would be the new way to do the space exploration beacons. Rather than disabling buildings if they're affected by more than one, you would just have this curve flatten out. You could even just have it flat from the beginning. So if you had 2 beacons affecting a building, they would each only contribute half. If you had 3 beacons, they would each only contribute a third. So the total transmission receiving strength would always just be exactly 1. That would be the new way to do space exploration beacons, so they don't actually disable your buildings, which I think would be kind of nice. All right, well, thank you so much to Not Melon. Everyone go give him your kudos if you enjoyed Maraxsis, or go download the mod yourself. It's on the, you know, Factorio portal. Right now, in specific, you need to download Factorio version 25 and not 26 if you're on experimental, because 26 made some changes to the mod API, and this isn't updated for it yet. But yeah, highly recommend Maraxsis. I've had a lot of fun with it. It does make your final late game a bit more powerful with these new beacons, and with the ability to preserve bioflux and agricultural science. So those are some fun ways to make your late game even more powerful if you're into that sort of thing, or if you just want a new planetary challenge. But yeah, I mentioned this before, but you know, we were kind of done with our Space Age playthrough, and so it's not like I wanted to pick up Maraxsis and then do more mega basing of Factorio Space Age. I was kind of done with Factorio Space Age, and I just wanted to pick up Maraxsis to try it out, but not necessarily to like expand my overall factory on all the different planets. So I do think Pyanodons will be coming in the future. For those of you, I know some of you are really excited to see me get back to Pyanodons, and that is coming. I don't know exactly when. It will probably be after the new year, but it is coming soon. So that's something to be excited about. And with that, I will bid you all adieu. I am going to keep streaming here for a minute, so if you're here live, don't go anywhere. But for those of you from the future YouTube recording, sorry for the 2-hour and 20-minute episode. As always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below.